Yeah, that's right.
Welcome to the Game Society Pimps podcast. I'm Aaron.
I'm Adam.
I'm Emery.
Why are we doing this over Skype?
I'm in Chicago.
I'm in Aurora.
I'm in a mystery land.
In Minneapolis.
Well, okay. Minneapolis is more accurate, I guess.
Yeah.
In a hotel room. We couldn't all be together. We really miss each other, but
Nope.
we got to do this because it was E3, and then holy shit, did some stuff go down.
Yeah, you guys have been requesting us to do a podcast for a while now, and this seems like the perfect opportunity.
Yeah,
So much cool shit.
yeah. Let's do it. Let's just get right into it. Well, why fuck around? Christopher Lee died.
As
That-
always, start off with a death.
Did not happen at E3.
No, that was not E3's fault either. That had nothing to do with it. But
As
he
far as we
died,
know.
and we like to start off with death and make everything fun.
Yeah.
What?
Depressing, I think, is more accurate.
No.
Fun and depressing.
Yeah, you got those things mixed up.
Fun pressing.
Defunning.
Christopher Lee died on my birthday, actually, even though the news of his death only came out like a couple days later. I found out he actually died on June 7th.
You always kill someone on your birthday.
Yeah, well, usually not on my birthday, but, you know.
But he kills someone.
I am the responsible for at least 4 celebrity deaths.
I think you
No.
killed Rob.
Williams and Billy Mays.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. It's Emery's fault,
Yep.
guys.
I don't remember. I think Michael Jackson, was my fault.
Michael Jackson. Yeah.
And then now Christopher Lee. So
Wow.
it's really too bad.
Emery is
brutal.
history's greatest monster.
He is. He's a brutal man. But we're here to honor Christopher Lee.
Yeah.
An amazing person, not just for his movies, but also because he made a heavy metal album when he was like 92 or something. The man just never seemed like he was going to die. And he was fantastic as Saruman in LOTR. He was great in Star Wars. He was in James Bond. He was in a lot of shit. He was just an amazing dude. And I really thought that if anyone had a chance of not ever dying, that it was him. So
Yeah.
I mean, he was one of the
I kind of thought he was a vampire.
yeah.
He was a vampire at one point.
Yeah, exactly.
See,
People were expecting him to rise from the dead, just like in his Dracula movies.
So-
Best parts of the prequels. I mean, he even played Dooku like in the cartoons and stuff when most of the regular actors wouldn't do it. He did it.
Plus, he made playing a character named Dooku
Count Dooku.
something to be respected, amazingly enough.
You know, I always used to say that if there could be any actor that would gain all of the powers of all the characters that he's played, Christopher Lee would have the best powers.
Oh yeah.
By far. You know, he would have Sith powers, he would have white wizard powers, he would be a vampire, he'd be a Bond villain, he would just have all sorts of amazing things.
He'd also be Willy Wonka's father.
Yeah. Yep, he would have a son who owns a giant chocolate factory.
Magical chocolate factory.
With the slaves, magical slaves too.
He could probably birth chocolate orcs in the basement of the chocolate factory.
Use them to hunt down the Jedi.
Mm-hmm.
And the whole time he would be singing a metal song while he did it.
Yeah,
With his
exactly.
deep, wizardly metal voice.
So goodbye, Christopher Lee. You will be missed. And now we
Yeah.
move on to E3.
Actually, not quite.
Oh, sorry. No, we've got one other item of business that we need to talk about before we talk about E3.
Mm.
And that is the Game of Thrones finale. Game of Thrones. Adam's excited. Here's the thing. A lot of shit happened, and there's going to be a lot of spoilers we're going to discuss here. So if you haven't seen it or you're going to see it, you close your ears.
Or just go down to the bottom and skip to the next part.
Yes, you can do that too. You don't have to sit here and just watch us speak and not hear us. That's an option. So, yeah, Emery, what'd you think?
I really, really did not see that coming because I stopped reading the books because I actually liked watching the show better. So I did not know that at the end, Jon Snow would die. So that was quite a shocker to me, actually. I always assumed Jon Snow would just last forever, like most people.
Yeah, I kind of thought he was one of those characters that you couldn't kill, and I'm actually still not convinced that he's dead.
Yeah?
And here's why. I know you haven't read that book in particular. At the end of that book, it is not decisive. He's not decisively dead.
Mm-hmm.
The TV show is going to veer out of some of the things that the books do, but I don't believe them when they say, okay, here's the thing. They could say he's dead and not be lying.
Right.
And Kit Harington could say they're not going to have me back next season and not be lying.
Right.
Maybe they'll have him back in season 7.
Right.
Because here's the thing. Where the fuck was Ghost? Ghost wasn't there when that happened.
Yeah.
There is no way that just like, we forgot to have Ghost do anything there.
Well, also when I was sitting there watching it, I called it. I was like, you know what? Melisandre just got back to the wall. Yeah. She's obviously going to raise Jon Snow, just like Thoros of Myr does for Beric Dondarrion.
She's either going to raise... Yeah, well, I know... Yeah, go ahead.
Well, I said obviously, but like that's what I thought at the time. I don't know if that's actually going to be what happens. But I think a lot of other people came to that same conclusion.
Maybe.
She's going to have something to do with it.
Yeah, I think she'll have something to do with it. I don't know if she's going to raise him from the dead or if she's going to help him transplant himself into, Ghost's body, like with his mind, and then transplant him back into a different body via Bran developing the ability to, take life forces and put them in other bodies. I mean, it's all connected to Bran, I think.
So you think maybe Bran had something to do with it? Because Jon Snow never exhibited any abilities, warging abilities or nothing.
Well, but I think in the book he does.
Really?
Yeah.
Not from what I read, but
he has a connection to Ghost. Okay. I just think it's possible, and I think Bran might have something to do with it. And so I don't think they were necessarily lying, but I don't know that he's dead. Even if he is dead, and gone for sure, forever from the series, I saw the Game Theorists video about who they think fits the prophecy that they talk about in the book of the one of the characters who's gonna.
Oh, the what's his name, Azor Ahai or whatever, the son, or the god of fire's champion, that guy.
Yes. Exactly, and the one who will sort of take over and rule, and everybody's like, oh, it's going to be Khaleesi and Jon Snow. Well, his theory is that it's actually, there's other people who fit the criteria for that prophecy, and one of them is actually Jorah.
Why?
Because he fits the criteria because of his relationship with Khaleesi, and he goes into more detail.
That's
in the
weird.
Video.
Yeah, I should just check out that video. Maybe we should link that video.
yeah, why not? It's a great video, and it's an interesting theory. And, I think he's right about one thing, that George R.R. Martin is going to keep, throwing us off the trail however he can. So I think it's going to be, I don't think any character is safe. I think that still is true.
Yeah.
I think even Khaleesi might meet her end before the end of the show. So... it was a pretty good finale. It was kind of a hit or miss season, but it was all building up to the last 3 episodes, obviously.
Yeah, definitely. I kind of agree with that hit or miss thing. It seemed a little bit wonky compared to the other seasons.
Yeah.
But I kind of view this one maybe as like a bridge season where it did a lot of necessary things that maybe weren't exciting in and of themselves, but have set up a lot of really cool stuff. I really missed Lady Stoneheart. I thought I would see her. Definitely since the last episode was titled Mother's Mercy. Mm-hmm. And the fact that they haven't done anything with Dondarrion or Thoros of Myr in forever in the show, since season 3 or something. They haven't done anything with them, and you'd think that at some point Lady Stoneheart would come back, because that seems like a big fucking deal. But
they kind of went the AV Club, the Onion AV Club, was sort of saying, when they went down to what's the place down south where
Dorne?
Yeah, Dorne. When they went to Dorne this season, that they maybe realized too late that wasn't the right move. And they should have, because they didn't do much with Dorne. And it was just kind of a mess, and they should have gone somewhere else and done the
E3, guys. That's what we're supposed to be talking about.
Oh, okay, right, yeah.
I know. People are sleeping now. Okay, wake up. We're going to talk about E3. For more GOT fun, leave us a comment, and we'll reply to them and read them and have a discussion in the comments about this.
Yeah, fuck it.
Emery and I could talk about this for hours.
So. That's why we're stopping.
Okay, Adam was sleeping.
It's just that I know nothing about the show. I'm not opposed to watching it, but it has nothing to do with anything, so let's move the fuck on.
Yeah.
Okay.
E3, first priority has got to be to talk about Fallout 4.
Because you decided it.
Yes. Oh, yes.
First priority.
Come on. Everybody's like, Fallout 4 pimps. And yes, that is what we're going to call it. apparently November 10th is the release date. I've already ordered my Pip-Boy edition.
Nice.
I'll be getting the special Pip-Boy and all the other stuff that comes with it. We'll have to have some sort of unboxing or something.
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure everybody has heard about the Pip-Boy thing. I'm not sure if I'm going to get it just because I don't know if Windows phones are going to work with it. You know, they don't have a good history of working with things like developing apps for Windows Phone. Just doesn't happen. So
maybe eventually.
Maybe
Microsoft's conjunction with that game, though.
Yeah, I know, but like still.
I know they're a separate division, but still, I would think they would try.
Yeah. Maybe Windows 7 users like myself, we should just hope for the best and get one anyways.
I don't use Windows 7.
Or, sorry, Windows Phone. My bad.
Okay, I think we're missing the point here, guys. It's Fallout 4.
Yeah.
It just, like, appeared out of nowhere. I thought...
Yeah, the most inevitable, predictable game of all time came out of nowhere. Oh, my God.
I don't think it was inevitable. I don't think it was that predictable.
Do you even read gaming news?
Dude, are you fucking kidding me? As far as, like... came out of nowhere things in E3. Fallout is nowhere near
close.
Let me clarify.
Do you know anything about the history of games? Fallout 4 was a guarantee since the end of Fallout 3.
Everybody knew.
If I might just clarify, what blows me away about it is that, I was expecting them to announce it, and then it would take like fucking 3 or 4 years for us to ever see the game.
Okay.
So just the fact that it's coming out this year, and that we don't have to wait until 2017, 2018, whatever, is absolutely astounding.
Well, they've had this in development for years. I mean, we got leaks about how it takes place in Boston. We saw leaks of scripts. We saw leaks of casting.
Yeah.
I mean, it's been in development for years. You just didn't believe it.
And so to have it actually be revealed as true is a really, amazing thing, and I'm really excited about it. And we're gonna make a fantastic series out of that shit, and we're just gonna. I think as soon as we get the game, we just start recording, and we do Fallout 4 pimps.
Definitely, it's gonna be even better than when we did Skyrim because we waited a little bit to start Skyrim. With Fallout, we're gonna jump on it right away.
Get right on top of it, and just be there from the beginning. It's gonna be really great. I saw some of the gameplay. The gameplay looks like the whole shooter aspect of it has been really improved, and there's a lot of awesome things they've added to the mix to make it so you're moving around more. There's more action. They still have VATS, which is awesome, but there's like other elements to it now that make it more sort of meshed with the rest of the action, I think.
And it seems like it's not going to be nearly as broken and abusable as VATS is, in Fallout 3. Like, it doesn't freeze time completely; it just slows it down.
Exactly,
which is really good. Because then we won't necessarily just have to use VATS for every single kill in the videos.
Right? Yeah. Well, no, because you won't need to. But they're doing a lot more creative.
Okay.
They're doing a lot more creative things with the monsters, I think, which is awesome. And the only thing I'm not sure about is the dialogue. So, I mean, the way they're doing it looks fine. It's just as in terms of what we're used to and being able to fill in our part. Like, that's going to be a little weird. But we've been starting to do that with The Witcher, and it seems like it works okay. So I'm not too worried about that.
Spoilers, we're releasing a Witcher series.
Yay!
Yes, we are. Hopefully right after this video comes out. The character design thing looks it's so intuitive and smart. Like, I wish all character design for games was like that, because it's just like you just shape the face. You don't have to, go through 5 billion options and get exhausted and not even care what you look like by the end of it.
Yeah, and God, the crafting, the building of your own houses and whatnot. That's what we wanted in Skyrim with Hearthfire.
Right.
That's what kind of something we were, I don't know, I wouldn't say promised, but like led to believe would be a thing, and then it wasn't. But I can see where all of those resources went, because it was directly into Fallout 4, because it seems like they did a really good job.
Yeah, for sure. Adam, you should talk about the mods situation a little bit.
About to. So as I'm sure you know, and I'm sure a lot of people know, they are going to expand modding to the Xbox One version. We don't know yet if that'll be available on the PS4 version, but what we do know is the modding community, when they make one for the PC, if they choose to, they can make it available to Xbox users. And it sounds like, although I guess we don't really know this, it sounds like it will be essentially treated like free DLC that will just appear on Xbox Live. You can download it, you don't have to pay for it, you don't have to do anything special to install it, it just downloads, done. mod installed. There could potentially be certain conflicts. Some mods are game breakers for one reason or another. So I guess I don't know how they're going to handle that. But mods are coming to at least the Xbox One version.
Which is so fucking cool, and it's like never been done, as far as I know.
Never been done.
Yeah.
Not legitimately, anyway.
Yeah.
And this kind of shows how mods are becoming the future, and I really do think that as this is the future of gaming. People are always going for a lot more games anyway. I mean, it doesn't work for all games, but for a lot of games, adding to the world and changing things in the world and making it your own, the way you want it and the way you want to do it is going to become more of a thing in gaming. So and this is like they're making it really streamlined if you can do it on the Xbox One. So that's going to be you don't have to. It's got to be a little bit more user friendly if you're doing it on Xbox One. So
Definitely. Even though modding for Bethesda games has been pretty user friendly. Definitely the most user-friendly out of any game. But yeah, now it's going to be even easier. Hopefully.
I'd say it's Emery-friendly. It's not really me-friendly.
I'm not like a prodigy or anything. Like, plenty of kids, do modding really easily. We're just getting kind of old, so it's hard for us old dogs to learn new tricks. Some of us are older dogs than others.
Some are old dogs that we're amazed are still alive.
Some of us predate video games. Talking about you, Adam.
You're ancient.
The other thing that's cool is dog meat. He won't be able to die. It is really annoying that dog meat, for the most part, would just die if you ever mini nuked someone or rocket launched them or whatever. Now you can just fire on him at will and never have to worry about it. So that's way cool. He's a good distraction. He's going to be a really good distraction this way, I think.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know.
Yeah.
And lastly, there was the game for iOS, Fallout Shelter. I assume neither of you played it.
No, I never played it. I did see gameplay of it, and I did read an article, or at least a headline article, saying that it overtook Candy Crush Saga for the most played game recently on iTunes. Yeah.
Yep.
Which is funny.
That's amazing.
I like it.
That is good. I don't know how much I'm going to play it or if I'll play it. I might give it a shot. But any game that's going to charge me money to upgrade my weapons or get better shit, I'm just kind of bye. I just won't do it unless I really, really like the game. But if it's just a mobile type of situation, probably not going to do it. So.
Okay, yeah, that's fair. I'm not into the mobile gaming either, but a lot of people are. It's obviously the biggest growing, fastest growing video game genre, I guess. Would you say platform? Yeah.
It's definitely more
accurate.
Yeah, it's more of a casual gaming type of thing. It's almost like it goes to a different group of people that aren't us as much. People who like video games, but they don't like to get into it as much as we do or something. I don't know.
Well, I don't know. I used to do mobile gaming a lot as a kid. It was just with a Game Boy,
Yeah, that's true.
I played the fuck out of my Game Boy. But now there's no real reason to have one because you just have it on your phone, which everybody has. So it's just kind of a transferring of platforms.
Yeah.
So. Flies in the face of the reality that the 3DS still outsells all those.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, okay.
3DS is an anomaly. It's a fucking unicorn. No one knows how it's doing so well. It shouldn't for the reasons you stated, but it is.
If Nintendo were to just make all of the 3DS games for mobile, then I don't really think that the 3DS would be doing as well. I know, obviously they won't, which is probably why.
On their part.
Yeah. But
well, as far as mobile gaming goes, though, I guess everybody does some mobile gaming. So I mean, it doesn't matter who you are, you're going to do some mobile gaming. So I don't know. I'm going to give it a shot. It looks like it's okay, and it takes place in a vault, which is pretty cool. Yeah. You're
like an overseer of a vault.
Yeah, and you try to get people to have sex, so that's fun. So Fallout 4 coming November 10th. We're going to be playing it. Don't you worry. We're gonna try to put out those videos pretty quick. I think it's going to be really.
We're going to be the biggest Fallout 4 series ever. It's going to be the funniest thing you've ever seen
on our channel.
Ever? No, anywhere. Fuck you.
Yeah, Shenmue 3.
Yay!
That game. So that would be my little baby there. I was so, you have no idea. I've been chasing that game for 14 fucking years since 2001 when they did the second one, and I've done it. I've wanted it so bad. Like, if you look online, there's just people like screaming and crying and so excited when it announced. I mean, I'm one of them. It was unbelievable how many of us were excited about that.
It was a little bit. To be fair, Adam, it was a little bit embarrassing.
Fuck yourself.
Because you don't usually show emotion, so it was kind of disturbing.
That's because I hate you.
Well, but you don't show emotion ever.
I don't show.
That's not true.
You except to express how much I don't like you.
He shows a lot of emotion while he's watching the Bulls play basketball.
Yeah, exactly.
That's true. And
I'm an extremely emotional guy, but being in Madison kills one's soul. You have to understand that.
Okay, I mean, we're getting off topic here, Joe.
Yeah, exactly. Who started that? I was on topic.
All right, back to Shenmue. Don't start crying on us.
So why don't you explain to everybody why Shenmue 3 being revealed is such a big deal?
Like I just said, we've been waiting for 14 years for this, and we were told, like, this will never happen, it's never going to be possible. I mean, there's a really long story, but the short version is somehow, like, this dead franchise busted out of its coffin the other day and said, I'm back in full force. And I'm so unbelievably proud. They're doing the funding through Kickstarter, which is obviously what's giving them the go-ahead. And they became the avatar of Kickstarters. I mean, they shattered their goal within 9 hours. Yeah. And they still have almost the entire month to go, at least at the time of recording this. And, I mean, I contributed to it, and I'm going to ask if anybody out there has even the most casual of interest in Shenmue, hit up the Kickstarter and contribute to that, because the more money they get, the bigger the game's going to be, and the more just unbelievable it's going to be. It's just our dreams are coming true. It was such a surreal day. Like, that's been a dream of mine, like, literally for 14 years. And then that day also the Blackhawks won the title in the same day, like 20 minutes later. I was just like, my mind's going nuts. And then the next day the Cavaliers lost, and I was just like, yes.
Would you say, Adam, that was the best day of your life?
No, but it was damn good.
Well, then what else would be?
I'm not gonna share details like that with you, motherfucker.
First time you had sex. Definitely.
Not bad.
First and only time. Wait, so I have a question. It seems like
I want to hear your condescending questions.
This is not a condescending question, but buttfuck.
Patronizing.
It seems like Sony, right? They were the ones who were balking it. They didn't want to make this.
No.
Who didn't want to make this game?
Sega, who owns it.
Okay. And so now that they've seen the Kickstarter, what's happening?
Sega? They simply gave Yu Suzuki the license to go ahead and make the game. They have nothing to do with it. They just essentially gave him permission and said, good luck to you.
But I thought Sony is backing it or something.
Sony, after the initial Kickstarter was massively successful, has said they're putting their full support behind it. Now, we don't know what that means. We don't know if it means they're simply matching whatever the Kickstarter makes. We don't know if they're investing $20 million. We don't know. We don't have that information yet, at least at the time of recording this. But we do know they're putting money into it. We just don't know how much.
So I guess my question would be, like, what exactly does this announcement mean? You already said that Sega gave up the license to it, and then somebody, what's his name?
Yu Suzuki.
He's
like the Sega equivalent of Shigeru Miyamoto.
Okay, so he's going to be the one responsible for making this game?
Yes.
Okay.
He was the one who came out and made the speech.
And what exactly did the speech say? Like, this is definitely happening. I'm going to be, steering the ship. And
the big quote is, "The fate of Shenmue is in your hands," referring to go to Kickstarter, which won't be a problem because, like I said, we shattered that record in 9 hours. I mean, it set the Guinness record for biggest Kickstarter of all time.
Right.
And so first to 1 million, first to 2 million, it speeds, and at the point, again, time of recording this, they've got 3.2 million. So it's big. It's big for a lot of reasons, and it's, to us in the Shenmue community, is unbelievable. I mean, like I said, there's people all over the internet reacting, crying, being just stunned that this is the case. Copies of the first 2 games have gone from almost borderline bargain bin to like multi-hundreds of dollars on eBay overnight.
Wow.
Just because you can't play the game any other way. So people have been tracking down all the copies to be like, because a lot of people saw the reaction to it and never played the game, such as both of yourselves, and you're all like, if people are actually breaking down in tears over the announcement of the 3rd game, maybe there's a reason, and maybe I should check out those first 2 games. And that's what a lot of people are now doing. And I'm glad, because that game deserves to be played by everyone. It's such an unbelievable experience. It really is remarkable. But it simply never got the traction it needed because it was on a platform
that bit it.
Yep.
All right, now I have another question then.
Yep.
Is it another patronizing one?
Yes, this one is patronizing.
Great.
So obviously there's a lot of very passionate people that want this game to be made, and which is an amazing achievement. The fact that they could sort of get beyond the struggle of getting it out of the hands of Sega and actually get the game made on its own. Like, this could happen to lots of other games. But in terms of like all of you, the people that are passionate about this game, is there a place that you can, meet up on the internet and like masturbate together?
Shenmue 500K on Facebook.
Okay.
The Shenmue Dojo is the big one. Those are the two best. Actually, the Kickstarter is working in conjunction with them. They're very aware of the fan base because the fan base is what made all this possible. Because we're like religious zealots. Every chance we got, we would Twitter hammer and Facebook hammer like every company under the sun. And I kept making points that I thought Sony made the most sense. And I kept telling people, like, focus on Sony for all these reasons. Now, I don't know how many people actually ended up listening to me, but I know we did do that. And ultimately, it's what happened. Sony said they heard us, and they basically did what we suggested, and here we are.
All right. Well, so people could also hit you up at FAP Chat, right? You're on FAP Chat?
FAP Chat's where all of us...
Okay, download FAP Chat and look for Adam's Shenmue FAP group.
Yep.
Yeah.
So I rewatched the announcement over and over again and just yanked one out.
All right, well, congrats.
Do you have any idea how passionate I am? I've got a signed copy of the game right here.
Signed by who?
Yu Suzuki, the guy who made it.
Oh.
The guy who was up on stage. I have it's autographed copy right by him.
That's awesome.
Yeah, I think we get it. Congratulations.
You know that, Payne? Literally half my life I've been waiting for this game.
14 years, and you haven't been happy a day since you've been waiting.
Now I am.
All right.
I just hope the game, this third game, lives up to the expectations because I know that the first game had like a ginormous budget and it took 6 years to make. What?
Also not true. This is the thing. Nobody ever knows the real truth of this. Everybody claims that the game cost $70 million, which is not true. It was a marketing ploy by Sega to make it seem like a game you absolutely needed. The true budget, well, I should say only, was $47 million. It encompassed both the first and second game, as well as a game for the Saturn that was never released. The game was in development from 1994 to 2001. And that whole thing ended up being $47 million, but everybody thinks it was $70 million to do just the first game. So it's not really as bad as everyone makes it sound.
No. Okay.
All right. Well, I got to beep this fucker so we can keep going. We got a lot of stuff to talk about.
Yeah.
Go to the Kickstarter.
Emery, you want to talk about Final Fantasy VII?
Yeah, sure. And perhaps what was the most surprising, except for maybe Shenmue 3.
Dude, you can't
announcement. Well, here's the thing. The reason why this might be more surprising than Shenmue 3 is just the fact that last year's E3, Sony went ahead and said, Final Fantasy VII remaster for PlayStation 4, and everybody thought they were fucking trolling, and I don't know what the hell happened, but...
They trolled this year, too. I thought the exact same thing, because they started talking about Final Fantasy is a game that everybody loves, and we finally did what you wanted. And they brought up that game with all like the little chibi characters.
Yeah.
I thought the people were gonna run up there and like kill everybody.
Strangle.
And they're like, wait. We know what you really want.
Yeah.
Bam.
And
I can't say that was the biggest shock, but that was a hell of a surprise.
It was a pretty big fucking shock. And the reason why this game is being remade, obviously, is because like the Shenmue fan base, people have been wanting this for quite some time. Final Fantasy VII, a lot of people consider to be the best Final Fantasy game, and I don't know. There's so many people have so many different opinions on that. But anyways, it was definitely one of the most successful Final Fantasy games, and it's a crazy good game, really fucking amazing. The story is great, the atmosphere is great. Gameplay obviously is kind of old and needs to be updated, but this game being remade is a huge fucking deal. And I'm super excited about it. It was one of my favorite games for like most of my childhood, and I'm really looking forward to playing it again.
It's considered a masterpiece.
Yeah. Where can people go online to masturbate to other Final Fantasy VII fans?
Dude, I don't know. I don't.
Yeah, what's with that
I
shit?
don't
Like,
do
we
that.
didn't ask you that about Fallout 4.
Well, I can tell you where to go
What's
because
wrong
I've
with
been
you?
there like daily.
And the next subject, I'm not going to ask you that either because it's just weird.
I would say just Google Final Fantasy VII forums and then go find
Yeah,
whatever.
exactly.
I don't know.
Are you
Or
on?
just look Final Fantasy hentai. I'm sure you'll
No,
find something.
I'm not on forums. Like Final Fantasy VII to me is a really good, fun game from my childhood. It's not something that I have really put a whole lot of thought into in my adult life. I was willing to let it go. Like I would have been okay if it never had been remade, which makes me different from Adam in Adam's situation because like he was, every night having nightmares about Shenmue 3 maybe never being made.
He's
Whereas for
having
me,
prayer vigils.
yeah,
Dude,
and-
I'm a huge voice in that community trying to get that shit made.
Yeah.
How many animals did you have to sacrifice to get it made?
Many.
To the demon lord of
I will
Shenmue.
not disclose numbers, but it's pretty high.
All right.
But
well,
you know what the most interesting thing to me about this whole situation is that both of these games are things that have been, I guess, dead for like 20 years almost, and both of them, people have been asking for them to be revived for just as long as they've been dead, and they both got revived on the same day. But with Final Fantasy, like, there's no Kickstarter, there's no like, people aren't being asked to fucking crowdfund it. It's just gonna be made. Because they know that it's going to pull in shit tons of money.
That's true.
With Shenmue, I guess the reason why they aren't doing that, where they want the crowdfunding, is because they're not so certain.
That is correct. Shenmue, as much as I love it, it does have that stipulation on it that it's considered this game that bombed like hell, which, as previously I stated, isn't really as accurate, though I will not sit here and tell you it made money, because that's not true.
Yeah.
So I still maintain it's because of the platforms it was on, but
Yeah.
We'll see. And I give them credit, but what we do know is their funding isn't just coming from Kickstarter; it's coming from multiple places. We talked about that. Point is, Final Fantasy VII, that's a guaranteed moneymaker,
For sure.
It's amazing that it took them so long to conclude that.
Yeah.
But the hurt of Final Fantasy, and not to demean anyone who was wanting that, and I certainly agree with that. Final Fantasy, at least as a franchise, was continued for well on. I mean, still is. I mean, hell, they announced 2 of them in that thing. But
Exactly.
I could see, since I'm not a huge fan of that series, I could understand if perhaps Final Fantasy VII is like this amazing masterpiece, the thing you want to show everybody as like the example of awesome, and then they made all these like shitty ones afterwards or something. Like it'd be kind of like trying to defend Star Wars and people just throwing Episode 1 in your face. You're like,
Right.
but you don't understand.
There's also a big difference between the Final Fantasy franchise and like any other franchise, which is that each game doesn't take place in the same universe, doesn't take place with the same characters. They're all completely different games. The only thing that really ties them together is just, I guess, the play style of it. The fact that they're all RPGs and they're all kind of similar in that aspect. But Final Fantasy VII just is to think of it as like this one great masterpiece of a game that was made a long time ago that everybody from that time period, everybody who owned a PlayStation, like played that fucking game. And we're in the age of like reviving old things now. Like it happens in movies and in TV and in video games and other aspects. And so this was just the obvious thing to revive. Is one of the most iconic, one of the most remembered games from the PlayStation era. Just made so much sense, and I'm really glad they did it. And I hope they do a good job. I hope they stay true to the I guess the ambiance of the game and the funny, not taking itself so seriously kind of humor of the game, and also keeping the badass, sweet parts that I remember. And I hope Sephiroth's voice does him justice.
I'm open for the best for all of us because we all have big fantasy games about to come out, and I'm sure Fallout 4. We know a lot. We know it's going to be great. Final Fantasy 7. Yeah, I mean, as long as they don't do kind of, I mean, like, as long as they don't do like a weird Psycho type of remake, how everybody didn't like. I mean, granted, those are movies, but yeah, as long as they don't fuck it up, I think it'll be great.
So then, I think the question is, for our channel at least, for all 3 of these games, I know that we can play Fallout and have a good time and make fun of it, and people won't lose their shit. However, for the 2 games that you guys are talking about, I'm not as clear that we'll be able to play them and here and there make jibes at the game and do our thing, because it seems like because of the intense passion that fans of these games have, that if we do that, they'll just be like, oh, you can't make fun of this game, and so it might not be something we actually do in our channel.
in my case, our game at the best comes out like late 2017. We'll probably all be dead by then. So
That's a good point. Yeah.
Especially.
I'll definitely be dead. Yep, planning on it.
I wouldn't really worry about it.
Yeah, fuck it.
I don't know when Final Fantasy VII's coming out, the remake. Do you know? Did you hear that?
No. I don't think they've
maybe
said
next
anything
year,
about that.
but I don't know.
All right.
Do you know where the name Final Fantasy came from?
No.
It's actually really ironic. I think it was Square at the time. They were a development studio who was doing so badly they couldn't afford to make anything else. They just threw the name Final Fantasy on there. It's like, this is literally our Final Fantasy chance. And it ended up selling like gangbusters, and now they are what they are.
That's hilarious.
Weird. That's funny. Beep. Okay, Dishonored 2. Probably.
Tell us about this one.
It's in my top 3 of games of all time. Dishonored is. Dishonored 2 might be. I don't know yet. You're going to get to play as Emily, which is incredibly exciting. I don't know if you guys know the plot of the game, but she's the kid that gets saved in the first game, and it looks like they just kind of upped the ante a little bit. But if it's anything like Dishonored, it's going to be an incredibly great game. Another game I'm really excited about, and the trailer looks fantastic. So,
Dishonored 2 had been announced a while ago, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Dishonored 2 has been announced for a while, yeah.
Yeah, but they said the whole Emily thing during E3, right?
Yeah, there was a really cool trailer for it. So really excited about that. We're definitely going to do some gameplay of that on our channel. So look forward to that.
Aaron, I'm going to let you finish, but where do Dishonored fans get together to fap?
You can hit us up on our Dishonored 2 FAP chat. It's just
it should be Disho Fap.
You just go to the FAP. You just download the FAP chat, and then you type in Dishonored. I guess actually there is. I don't know if there is a Dishonored 2 one yet, but there's a Dishonored one.
Disho Fap 2.
Disho.
Right. I don't get it.
Disho.
Disho.
Dishonored.
Disho in red. That's
Disho Fap 2.
Yeah.
Disho nerd.
Yeah.
Anyways, so we're just talking about other games that we like from E3.
Yeah.
Or something that caught our attention. This next one sounds like another. Well, it sounds more like your topic. So go ahead.
Oh, what's the next one? I don't know.
Briefly, Bethesda revealed an Elder Scrolls card game. It's going to be kind of like
Hearthstone. I'm
actually vaguely excited about it. I know you guys don't care about this kind of shit, but I like card games. Hearthstone is okay, but an Elder Scrolls themed one I think will be more fun. I'd be more interested in playing that than Hearthstone ultimately.
Yeah.
I just hope there's not a ton of microtransactions. I mean, I know there probably will be because that's what everybody does now, but oh well.
Yeah. Saying that is foolish. You're foolish.
I know. I always hope for the perfect world, but you know what? The thing is, guys, we're basically getting the perfect world right now.
Yeah.
We're getting every fucking game we ever wanted. You know, it seems like whatever game we want right now, we can just ask for it, and it will materialize in front of us. So
that's so true.
Yeah,
that brings us to the next one that should be amazing. Because it's actually been a game I've been wanting. Other than Shenmue 3, this was like my big, please make this fucking game. You know what it was?
Star Wars
Battlefront 3. But then Disney decided to hand it off to EA, who did exactly what you would think with it. They fucking raped it.
Oh no! They used the bad genie. They used the bad genie. You said you could ask for any game you wish for. So you're like, I want a new Battlefront. And they're like, all right.
And then they gave us the shitty EA Battlefront that has like I don't even remember the numbers. That like people broke down every feature that was in the previously 2005 release of Battlefront 2 compared to this Battlefront 3, and like everything that was in Battlefront 2 isn't there, or is like expanded DLC or some stupid shit. Like there's like 12 maps or something in Battlefront 2, and there's 4 in this one. There's no space battles in the new one. There were in the first one. Just the whole list is ridiculous. To top it all off, they started going off about all the great DLC they're offering. My favorite was that they're offering a DLC pack that's I think like $4, and for it you get a picture of one of those little Facebook style stickers of a stormtrooper going like, yeah, that you can display when you win the match.
Wow.
Fuck you, EA. And
You have to
bullshit.
pay for that.
You have to pay for that.
Oh my god, they should pay you to fucking do that.
Fuck them.
Hilarious.
Oh well.
People who've done everything they can to ruin video games for the last 20 years.
Tell me they at least have Ewoks throwing stones.
I doubt it.
No!
Because I gotta give the developers credit, because it looks like they're trying to make a really good game, but it just screams of EA sticking their hands in there and being like, don't put that in there, don't put that in there, make sure you charge extra for that, make sure that part's online only, make sure the servers don't work, make sure we charge them for that. Motherfuckers. So, like, it couldn't be worse. That's why I'm really happy when I read all these things about Shenmue 3 and how they're talking to you, and he's just like, another reason I don't want big developers involved is I want to do my game my way.
Yeah.
So happy about that.
Ain't nobody gonna be fapping to this game, motherfucker.
Yeah. I wanted to fap to it.
What's
I
with
dreamed
the-
of fapping
Dude,
to it.
you're in a hotel. You should just go masturbate. Like, you just do it. There's nobody
You
around
just
you,
do it
man.
and paint the walls, man.
What
Obviously,
what
you're
the fuck
pent
do you,
up.
what the fuck do you think I'm doing right now?
Why do you...
So, like, I got so bored when Adam was talking about whatever he's fucking talking about that I've already masturbated 3 times while we.
This was a subject you wanted to talk about, motherfucker.
I don't even remember what it is anymore, Adam. Okay, or maybe I fapped when you were talking about something else. I don't.
You're just getting old. You have Alzheimer's.
Move on.
It's good because you can fap more when you have Alzheimer's. You forget that you just did it.
Ah, good point.
Okay, beep. The games that we're going to talk about now are not ones that are a sequel to something. Can you believe there is such a thing?
What?
It's true. There actually
Or
were
a
a
remake.
couple. Or a remake, yeah. One of them is Cuphead, the what looks like a 1920s style cartoon or 1930s style cartoon. It's apparently really hard, but it just looks so interesting. I think it'll be a lot of fun to try.
Like a
Yeah,
penis.
that game blew
Yes.
me away. That looked so cool. Cuphead.
Yeah,
All the indie stuff they showed, I was just like, wow.
It's unique, and I think it's going to be really it's going to be a lot of fun. No Man's Sky, we got to actually see
Oh, hell yeah.
some real gameplay from that. What you're really going to be able to do.
No Man's Sky intrigues me because it seems like this massive world, but I think it was the guy who was presenting it. He didn't seem to know how to, like, convey his point
Yeah.
to make. It's like you can do this huge world. There's this huge world. It's unbelievable. But what can you do in it? We don't really know because he said I only have 3 minutes to talk about this, and he didn't really know how to put it.
Well,
He
I
was
mean,
the most awkward public speaker of everyone who was up there.
that's
Right.
true, but that's not a bad sign for the game. I mean,
Oh, I know. I agree.
yeah, I'm almost more willing to trust people who don't know what they're doing when they're standing up on that stage because I'm like, this guy actually like worked on this a lot, and he may not be a good public speaker, but he knows he's making an amazing game. So
Yeah.
He's not a corporate fuckface.
right, he's not a corporate fuckface.
Plus,
Um,
any game that's so big that you can't even really wrap your head around it in 3 minutes is a really, really good sign.
Yeah, so it's going to be worth a play or two or a lot more than that. I wonder if it'll actually like damage some people. They'll get like so sucked into it and like confused by how big it is, they'll just like lose their minds.
Like a penis.
Not yours.
Yeah, no one's confused by your penis, Emery,
Come on, man. You don't have to make this personal. It was just a funny dick joke.
except for your family. They're just like, why do you keep showing us your penis? We don't want to see that, Emery. Come on, it's dinner, Thanksgiving.
It's Thanksgiving, Emery. Put it away.
Funny thing about my penis is it's also named No Man's Sky.
I can't wrap my head around that.
Yeah, it's too big.
Beep. Okay, so this is apparently sort of a sequel, so it doesn't really fit in this
Spiritual
category.
Something.
Yeah,
But-
the last Guardian.
Oh, yeah.
When I saw the gameplay, it started out, with that little kid running out in this gigantic world, and I was like, okay, there's going to be some sort of giant beast that's going to show up, and then of course it did.
Yeah.
But I didn't expect the giant beast to be the kid's companion. Like that is
Yeah.
fucking amazing.
Yeah.
And then to like have to puzzle your way through this section with a giant, what amounts to a giant dog, basically with like frog legs or something.
Dude, it's like a dog, bird, cat. Like it sits and moves like a cat. It kind of looks like a dog, and it's got feathers and the legs of a bird. It's
Yeah.
really fucking cool.
So it looks like a really unique game, and I'm excited about that one.
Yeah, that's a game again that had been talked about and announced like years ago. I don't remember how many years.
2009.
2009.
Jesus.
PS3 originally.
Yeah.
It's done by Team Eco, It's actually set in the same universe as Eco and Shadow of the Colossus. That team basically left development, and then they basically abandoned it, and a new development team came in, finished up, is now making it for the PS4.
And honestly, the graphics and gameplay don't look any different really from when it was first announced in 2009. Yeah. Not much different.
Go look at comparison clips. It's night and day.
Really?
Yeah.
I don't know. Maybe it's just at least the feeling of it is the same.
I'm sure the tones really they got the tone exactly right. It feels exactly like Eco Shadow of the Colossus.
Yeah, exactly. Like it's amazing. And so I think the game's going to be really fantastic.
Well, I also think they didn't really do this in the video, but I'm kind of excited to see how you die.
Yeah. Because
they didn't show you like the kid plummeting to his death off the cliff. It's like that's going to happen multiple times. It's going to be like a Dragon's Lair or something, and you're just going to like, miss his tail and go plummeting off the edge of the cliff and have to start over again. So.
Or like if your monster thing, dies off the cliff by itself and like it dies. Yeah. There's going to be a cutscene of you getting in your mom's minivan and then driving, tears streaking down your face to the nearest shelter and picking out a new one.
When that trailer thing initially came up, it almost gave me a heart attack. You have to understand, there was a lot of buzz going into this that Shenmue might come up, but I didn't take it too seriously. Mm-hmm. And they first showed the trailer. The guy's talking about how, like, we're bringing back this series. Everyone's been requesting forever, blah, blah, blah. And then that feather thing falls, which is actually a big thing in Shenmue. And I'm just like, and then they're like, Last Guardian. I was like, and then, of course, later had that happy ending. But I was just, you have to understand, I nearly went into cardiac arrest.
You had to,
man.
You had your pants off and you were like ready.
Oh, I was ready. I was ready.
No, it's like he was stroking it, he was getting ready, and then bam, it was a shot of like a giant like asshole and dick.
Yeah,
and he just had to stop.
Shoved into its own ass.
It's like oh no.
Yeah,
it's not what I could fab to.
Don't get me wrong, the game looks awesome. It's just the initial like fuck was too overwhelming at first. I would have been so much more pissed if they hadn't done exactly what they did later. They were good. That's why we got to give Sony some credit for that press conference. I mean, they trolled everybody and then immediately paid it off. Like they trolled us, paid it off, and they trolled Final Fantasy fans, paid it off. That was an amazing press conference in the sense of what they gave us. It wasn't that entertaining, but they gave us a lot of good shit. But then you look at Microsoft's press conference, and one thing they actually did that I thought was awesome is they announced Rare Replay, which is like this physical collection of 30 of Rare's development studio. They made like GoldenEye and Conker's Bad Fur Day, Banjo-Kazooie, all those games. They're doing a collection of like 30 of their best games, at least the ones they can, because Nintendo owns a bunch of them, so they couldn't do those, like Donkey Kong Country and unfortunately GoldenEye. But Conker's Bad Fur Day and a lot of the others are there, and it's only $30, which is amazing. That's gonna be like a day one instant purchase for me. I mean, you will love that collection. I think you would too, because they're all remastered in full HD.
Oh, that's awesome. I was gonna say, are they remastered at least?
Oh yeah. Cool. Yeah, I mean they're not going to be like Final Fantasy VII. We're talking about like high resolution, probably widescreen and everything.
Notice we're not talking about Nintendo.
Yeah,
dude, in this podcast.
Here's all you have to say about Nintendo's event. Star Fox looks cool. We knew about it. Everything else, what the fuck was that?
Yeah,
and we'll never play it on our channel. So bye bye Nintendo. Okay, so
the puppets were funny though.
The puppets?
The puppet show they put on was funny. It was weird.
Well, it was for children.
Yeah.
Like everything that Nintendo does. Which is fine, I guess, but we're not children anymore.
The way you say that, Emery, is just like, it was for assholes. Just for assholes.
Very condescending. Very condescending.
Yeah, it was. Okay. So, real briefly, let's talk about the 360 backwards compatibility.
All right.
Yeah. That was Microsoft's. I think that was Microsoft's best announcement, personally.
It's insane. Really fucking cool. Never been done before. Also, as far as I know, like, well, they'll take a system and they'll do an update to the hardware to get it to.
That's not. What are you talking about?
Well, okay.
The 360 was is going to be emulated on the Xbox One through periodic updates.
Yeah.
That's exactly what the 360 did with original Xbox games. It emulated them through periodic updates. And then it added a library of games to the system. Eventually, they stopped supporting it, and I assume the same will be with this.
Well,
what's different about this one, though, is that if you have digital games in your library, that are compatible, they'll automatically be integrated into your Xbox One library. Physical discs, however, will also work, although I guess the way they're going to work is they're going to verify the disc and download the actual game as a hard drive installation, so it's not really going to play the disc, it's just going to use it as basically a CD key type of thing. But point is, 360 emulation is coming. We don't know how many games, we don't know which games, we only know the first batch of them, and from preview users, we've heard that it runs really well.
Yeah, that's the other thing, is that you can actually get that right now if you're an Xbox preview user, which you can sign up for, and you won't necessarily guaranteed get in, but some people have gotten into it, like my brother just got into it. Mm-hmm. And you can actually do the backwards compatibility right now in your living room with your Xbox One, which is really, really fucking cool.
Let's hope that they make Rumble Roses backwards compatible.
There was a caveat to that whole thing that is kind of being unsung, which is that they mentioned how they need licensing permission from the original developers of any game, which is actually not true, because that's never been the case. The reason they said that is because a lot of games are being like HD remasters, and if it's, let's say EA or whatever wants to come out with Mass Effect 2 and 3, because they publish both of those, they want to do like the HD special edition, it's not really to their best interest if Microsoft makes the Xbox One natively compatible with the 360 versions, because then people won't buy it.
Right.
So there is a little bit of a fuck you undertone to that, but it's not really Microsoft's fault.
No.
Well, I kind of can't believe they're doing it, and I think it's because, Adam, didn't you ask that dude?
I asked Major Nelson about that in person. Although, to be fair, I didn't ask him about 360 compatibility. I asked him about original Xbox compatibility working on Xbox One, because they're both x86 based, so just writing an emulator would be like that. But he said they had no interest. Although he thought I was asking him about the 360, so he got a little condescending with me. And I was like, no, dude, I'm not talking about that. I mean the original Xbox. And he was like, oh, like he'd never been asked that question.
Yeah, he was just like, what the
fuck? And he was like,
who the fuck are you?
But I mean, they fucking did it. They fucking did it. You were right.
Yeah, that's funny. He ended up saying, like, there was no way 360 at all. And then the other one was so simple, why even bother? But then they did give us 360.
Yeah.
So Shenmue and backwards compatibility, Adam Koralik is your man. He's responsible for all of it. Good work, Adam. You're a fucking hero.
You gave us Fallout 4 and Dishonored, too.
Oh, no. Apparently those were obviously going to happen no matter what I did.
There was 0% probability they wouldn't happen.
All I did
was solely behind Final Fantasy VII.
All I did was ask one of the Bethesda folks at E3 last year, is like, is there gonna be Dishonored 2? Is there gonna be Fallout 4? And she was like, I can't tell you. And so, but then when I asked her that was when she was like, okay, we better make these.
I want to know which one of you fuckers is responsible for ruining Battlefront.
Shut the fuck up. YouTube gaming. They're going to let us game live on YouTube.
Yay!
You don't have to start a whole brand new channel at Twitch. We can just use our goddamn Game Society Pimps channel.
Who would have known that being lazy for so long would ultimately pay off?
Yeah, always does.
But yeah, if people aren't aware, the YouTube gaming channel is essentially going to be another website that you can go to that you can search for games. Let's say I want to watch a Skyrim video. All right, I can go to YouTube Gaming and type in Skyrim, and all sorts of videos specifically for Skyrim and all sorts of channels specifically for Skyrim will appear in my feed. And I can actually subscribe to Skyrim as opposed to subscribing to a channel. And then any popular videos that come up with Skyrim will just appear, and I'll have notifications for it. And so that's part of the reason why it's going to help our channel for that kind of thing.
Can you search by age of the commenter? Because I would love it if I could just weed out, like, I'm going to weed out all the screaming prepubescent kids that are playing this game. And
possibly.
That would be nice.
I know that the interface is supposed to be really good. I didn't actually see it being used, unfortunately. I didn't watch that part of E3. But
I'm sure that won't be an option, but
who knows? Who knows, man? Who knows? They're trying to make it directly compete with Twitch, which is obviously like the juggernaut of live streaming. By the way, YouTube Gaming is also going to have plenty of live streaming too, and they're going to make it so that you don't have to schedule a live stream for YouTube anymore.
That'll be nice.
And so that you only have one link that you can give everybody to your live stream. So, I mean, they're doing a lot of significant improvements to the live streaming capabilities of YouTube, making it a lot easier for people who are interested in finding gaming videos from new users or things that they haven't seen before. Make it a lot easier for those people to find that. And I don't know, just seems like it's all good news for us.
Well, I think this kind of competition with Twitch was inevitable, but I also think the reason that it was inevitable is because this market is just going nuts. The whole live streaming thing, especially with gaming, is becoming bigger and bigger all the time. So it's not like they're really going to like drive each other out of business. There's room for a lot of this. So, and I'm just glad it's coming to YouTube because we just haven't had the manpower to, develop a Twitch channel. So,
yeah.
Do we know anything about the content ID system and how that's going to work with this?
What do you mean by
That's
that?
why people go to Twitch in the first place, is because they got sick of YouTube's content ID shit.
Well, I'm assuming they're working on that. Any sort of integration with YouTube itself, like the functionality that doesn't have to do with streaming, but like finding people's videos and whatnot, that's all still using YouTube's main site and the channel thing there. So you're not going to have to like make a new channel for YouTube gaming,
Right.
But yeah, I don't know. I'm assuming they're going to fix that if that's really been a problem for them. But that is just an assumption. They would have to, I would think, in order for it to be a legitimate.
It's one of the reasons people go to Twitch. Obviously, the live streaming is better, but they also don't really flag people.
Yeah.
So.
All right. Well, I think that's going to do it for us. I would say that we have a video. Speaking of what you were just talking about, Adam, the YouTube content ID thing, we couldn't put this video on YouTube because it uses scenes from Game of Thrones and it was just far too risky. So it is on our Facebook page, and you can go and watch it there. We might also upload it to Funny or Die. It's your president, Mr. Obama, commenting on the season finale of Game of Thrones.
Yep.
And it's a really funny video. We just couldn't put it on our channel. So, of course, you have
nice
an Obama
one.
mask.
Fellow Americans, please go and check out this video.
Please do. You can click anywhere on the screen.
God bless you. God bless America.
It's not bad. Not bad, Adam.
Yeah,
There's a better impersonation, in the video, but that wasn't bad.
Oh yeah, Jason's is much better. Yeah. That was just on the fly.
So go watch that. It's like a secret video for us because we didn't want to put it on YouTube, but it's a very good video. And as far as everything else goes, do we have anything else that we need to talk about? Go to Patreon and become our patron. Patreon.com/GameSocietyPimps. You're going to get to watch a live broadcast and interact with us once a month. There's all kinds of other enjoyable things that you can get out of it. Go check that out. Help keep us running and going and doing our things and expanding and making more videos. And we have T-shirts. There'll be a link in the description for that.
Well, I'm wearing one right now. Whoa!
Real quick, Emery, I don't know if you know this, but supposedly by the end of this month, there's going to be another upgrade to 7 days.
Cool.
The next version is coming out. It's going to have a fucking scooter.
A fucking scooter?
Scooter.
Whoa!
Yeah, it's going to be amazing. There's going to be a lot of improvements. Really excited about that. We're going to have to, leave our world again, but it'll be worth it.
Yeah, whatever.
So, but we're going to keep doing 7 days for the foreseeable future. It seems like you guys enjoy that, and we really enjoy it, so we're going to keep doing that.
Yeah. We might also start playing Ark.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, we better get on that. The sale is going to end pretty soon, so we should buy that and start playing it.
I'm going to buy it as soon as I get out of this hotel room and back to my home.
Badass. Me too. Adam will never buy it because it's a PC game.
Yeah. So, yeah. Look at how sad Adam looks now. He looks like he's going to pass out. Are you okay?
I can't really hear you guys.
That's why. Well, that's kind of nice.
It's breaking up. I can't really hear you.
Okay, whatever. Anyways, it was a fun podcast, guys. I'm glad I don't have to be in the same room as you.
The afterglow of Shenmue was worn off, and Adam is not.
Dude, you should see this. All right, so I'm gonna do self-promotion here. I got my own channel. I do a bunch of videos. I did some on E3 on each conference. Whatever, you can see greater details. But I did one on Nintendo, and I did that the next day after the Shenmue announcement, and it was like being hungover. You can see me like almost like the equivalent of hungover because I had like this excitement headache. I stayed up like all night watching the Kickstarter succeed. So I was operating on like 2 hours of sleep.
It's like you flowered the day before and then you died the next day.
Mm-hmm.
like a Koralik. Come on.
Yeah. It was madness and unbelievable happiness.
Hey, you should go.
Please support. There's a link in the description.
You should go to my other channel, Blame Society Films, and watch me get drunk and play board games and role-playing games. It's all over at Blame Society Films, right here on YouTube. Check that shit out. You can watch me do it live, too, if you're really into that kind of thing. It's pretty fun.
If I didn't say it, mine's Adam Koralik. It's going to be displayed there, I'm sure.
Yeah.
Thank you. Love you.
With a picture of a butt.
Yeah, there's going to be a butt.
Should be. Maybe that's not a good
Dick,
idea.
put
We'll
Adam
get
Koralik
flagged.
put a little dick butt.
And my channel is coming soon. It's I don't have a name for it yet.
I think you should call it Coming Soon. It'll just be
Coming
permanently Coming Soon. Yeah. CUMMI.
Yeah, exactly. I was going to say coming. Yeah. And it's going to have a picture. The logo has a picture of dick butt.
Yes.
All right, thanks for joining us, everybody. Hope you enjoyed our Skype broadcast. We'll try to get together and do it in real life soon.
Yep.
Bye-bye.
Peace.